Okay, we're live. I'm here. Welcome. I'm Verdier Busto, and this is Schumann Resonances with Verde, and I'm your host. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for showing up. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Check the notification bell, hit the all, or you will likely get none of the notifications. That's how YouTube does it. If you're not involved with the channel regularly, the AI dismisses you as being relevant to that channel and relevant to your life. So you want to make yourself as available to the videos by commenting, subscribing, hit share, make sure you have all the notifications selected so that you can be included in as part of the fun. And thank you very much. It's not just for me. This is for all the YouTube content providers as well. So my channel is not monetized. You don't necessarily have to hit the notification bell for me, for my channel. I don't really see any more money. I don't see any money from this. But it does give me a certain bragging right of saying, oh, I have almost 3,000 people in my channel, or almost 4,000 or whatever it is. I think about 2.89. Anyway, so I've already done the introduction to this. This is part of a series, as a mini series. I've done, I don't know, six of these so far in this. This originally was intended to be a birthday present from me. October 1st is my birthday, so I wanted to do something more personal for you folks, your subs, those who care, those who are interested. I want to do something more personal from me that's more me and not necessarily the science behind the Schumann resonances. A lot of what people are coming for in learning about the Schumann resonances is not actually a technical part of the Schumann resonances, right? There's a complete and total misunderstanding of what they are, what they show, how they're measured, what the spikes on the graph mean. All of this, everything across the board, everything about it is misinterpreted, and they're giving you the simplified version, which isn't the correct version, so you can integrate this into your life and blah blah blah. So I wanted to explain to you more why they're giving you the okie dokie, more why the powers at hand, the powers that be, are giving you the sanitized version of this for you to understand. All right, so it's important to know why you're not being given the truth, and it's not just because they don't want you to ascend. Right? I mean, that's completely and totally up to you. They actually want you to get the bad information so that you stay right here with everyone. All right. So this whole thing of, oh, well, the Schumann resonances are somehow integral to your spiritual growth itself is a lie, which they want you to focus on so that you are distracted from what's really, truly important in your life. And relative, if you're looking for ascension, you need to finish your contract. There isn't anything else. There's nothing else before that. There's nothing else after that. If you don't realize that you have a soul contract, you need to realize that now, and you need to finish it, and you need to get that done with before you're going to go anywhere. The Schumann resonances are not going to do that for you. That's the biggest part in the lie of this New Age mythology, is that if you just hang out, it'll be done for you. And that is not what it says in any traditional text anywhere. And that is one of the reasons why the New Age is just so dangerous and deadly for you, is that it is pushing the agenda of laziness as preferable upon you. And I'm here to tell you that that's not going to get you anywhere. You being lazy and not doing the work that you agreed to before coming here is not going to be good for anyone, and it's least of all not going to be good for you. Right? So you got to remember that. All right, so I've already done the introduction to this. I'm going to play a few minutes worth of music just to get everyone here in the chat. Gives people a chance to get in. There's not too much in this particular one. This is going to be an hour video, hopefully. So let's play some music. Let's get into it. Yep, there we go. Play some music, get into it, and then I will see you back on the other side. Okay, let's bring it back. All right, I got voice now. All right. Thank you. Thank you for being here. All right. It's a good mix. This is from the 23rd. This is like a hot off the press from my DJ. Okay, we're live again. All right. I've explained to this. I've already done the introduction. I've already done a bunch of these, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. I've already explained what I'm doing here. This is my birthday. A birthday offering to you for whatever it's worth, and I hope you enjoy it. It's a lot of this is very personal from me. This is the reason why. This right here is the whole reason why I need to still be here. Why I can't just be done here. Like what you're seeing here is why I'm still here. There isn't any need or reason for me to still have to be here, right? My family's gone. All the people I have obligations to are gone. There's not any reason why I still need to be here except to give you this information. I'm not a loving, kind person. Fuck yourself. I don't give a shit. This place is ridiculous. I really have seen enough. I've heard enough. I don't need to be here for anything else. I don't have any family. I'm not making family. I have no interest. I have no love interest. There's not any reason for me to have to be here except to give you this. And if you don't like this, you don't want it, that's fine. You don't have to be here. Go find something else to do. That's fine. I'll finish this. I'll be done. And then hopefully shortly after that, I can be done. All right. So that's where I'm at. Again, this is all free will. You don't have to be here. If you think I have something to offer, then stick around. Let me explain this to you and maybe you'll learn something, right? But it's all free will. Except in having to still be here. I freely give of my intention to be done with here, but I can't of myself make it so that I'm done. It was 99.9% free will. There is some part of this that the universe is deciding this for me, but outside of that, where I put my energy, where I put my care and my interest, that is the free will. I'm back. I have indeed been doing my best to be as ready as I can be. There's an innate paradox to this, that the people who love it here, who love life here, who enjoy it here, they're not ready. A lot of them are not actually ready. They love life too much to be prepared for, to think about an inevitable end to the paradise here. Right? This is a problem a lot of people have. They're just not mentally able to consider this paradise here coming to an end cyclically. That it is something that happens periodically, so many years, and you've been given the traditional text to tell you that the end comes like a thief in the night. You need to be ready now. There is not any time other than now of being ready. Don't wait. Don't waste your time. Don't waste a minute. Start getting ready now. The end comes like a thief in the night, and most people aren't ready because they don't want to think about it. And somehow, I'm the shithead, I'm the negative one for telling people you need to be prepared because the end is going to come and it's going to not be what you it's not going to be comfortable or soft or comfy or cushy or any of that. It's going to challenge your very sanity when it does get here. Right? And so there's an innate contradiction between those who are prepared to the best that we can, and part of this is mental preparation, that you're going to have to be scrounging when the time comes. You're going to have to be prepared to fight for what you want, what's yours. The veneer of civility is not very deep, and it's not going to last very long when it does get here, when the end game finally does get here. So I'm as prepared as I can be in this situation, but it's because I myself know it's coming, and I'm just waiting for it. And that's part of my understanding of what a lot of us are here for at this time, is to go through this, the final accounting that comes with the clearing, the great clearing, right? So I'm as ready as I can be, but I'm not ready. I'm not really ready. There's way more to this that I need to be prepared for that I'm just not prepared. And so, as well as a person can be prepared, inevitably, you're still left needing more that needs to be done. And the inherent contradiction, like I said, is that the people who love it here, who are full of life, don't want to consider the end being at hand, the end being near, right? You may go through your life, you may not ever, you like my father, right? He lived a cushy life. He lived, he married someone with money. He lived up there in the hill and in the countryside of Connecticut, However, at the end of his life, it was just him. There wasn't many of his friends that were left over, and he was sick and he couldn't take care of himself. He lived a long life. He was 80 something. He lived a long life, and yet he was as ill prepared to meet his end as the majority of people who love it here, right? They love life here. Oh my God, this is so awesome. I couldn't imagine anything else. There isn't anything else. This life is so great. Earth existence is so far beyond, so far evolved beyond anything else you could ever imagine, right? That's the way they live. I got my job, I have a great job, I have a house, I take care of everything, I detail my car. And these are people who aren't in the least bit concerned with us being on the precipice of the clearing of the old accounts. And honestly, it may be all the better for them not to be. Just don't even think about it. Don't even consider it. Just keep going right on as you've been going, and just keep doing what you're doing. Don't consider that, maybe we're not at the end. However, as things just keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse, you can't make the claim that it's, people just being difficult, when the majority of people you talk to, they don't know what's going on. They're not being difficult for the sake of making things difficult for other people. They're having a hard time understanding what's going on, and so they're difficult because they can't get out of their own way, right? That's part of what the thing of preparation is being stealthy, nimble, taking only what you need, being prepared mentally that I may have to leave like this. And you see enough people in Pacifica, on the coastlines, on the shorelines especially, they're losing their property, losing their houses as the seas come in and claim what's there, what belongs to it. The seas come in to claim what belongs to it, the property, the sand in many cases that was removed from the ocean and was pumped into the beaches. The water is coming to get the sand that you've taken from it, right? There's not another way to put it, right? So part of it is to live out of a suitcase, to always be prepared, and people don't want to do that, right? I like being where I am and kind of unpacking. I realize there is a joy to living, to being where you are, to unpacking. You've come into this new place, you unpacked, you're where you are, I'm going to live here. And yet, to be prepared requires you to have stuff that's still packed up in a duffel bag, waiting at a moment's notice. Right? This is what's really important to understand, is that you need to be ready at a moment's notice to leave wherever you are to go to safety. Right? As things are getting worse and worse, you can't escape it. You can't get away from it. You can't ignore it. You certainly can't ignore it. So, the phrase prepper gets a bad rap. I'm not a prepper. I'm not that far gone. But I do believe in having things ready to go at a moment's notice. Let's put it that way. everyone has his or her own work to do as per contract. So whatever unique, specific work that you have to do, we've talked about this in the contract, your higher level stuff of what you need to do in the contract. And what's important to realize is that you have unique work that only you can do. No one else can do it for you. So it's important to learn the contract, learn what your special skills are, and to develop those skills specifically for your group, your tribe, for yourself, if you're just by yourself, but for whatever the mission is, you have certain specific skills that you need to unravel, and you need to work and perfect. So everyone has a contract. Everyone has a contract. You don't come here without a contract. If you feel that you are living the best life you can and you don't need to know about anything else in your contract, that's fine. Whatever, maybe you are, right? But a lot of people don't know where they're supposed to be, what they're supposed to be, and the majority of people can benefit from learning what their contract says and learning what's in their contract. All right. Terence McKenna, who I would describe as one of my mentors, he uses the expression blast off into hyperspace to describe what the future of humans are. And as we embed our memory into memory cubes and on a server somewhere, and our personalities become more and more locked down in the digital domain, as we put more and more of our personality into the AI, into the digital domain, right? This is making by de facto true what he's saying. And it's not sci-fi to consider, oh, maybe my consciousness will be put in a memory cube somewhere. The fact of the matter is, they are trying to do this. And this is definitely something that's on the cutting edge of the AI technology, is to put consciousness into a memory cube to run a computer, right? Instead of having the organic hardware of the body itself, to have your consciousness just exported to a machine so your body doesn't mean anything anymore. And that, I think that generally speaking would be the definition of hyperspace, of your body no longer exists, but a disembodied consciousness kind of freely floating, might be the best description of hyperspace. So he didn't, I'm saying he didn't know exactly what that ultimate end, what hyperspace is, because things have changed now from the 80s when he was talking about it, right? So you can't have a clear view of the future, like, how does that happen unless you can kind of get an overview of it? But if you're just looking at technology through the advancements of human achievement, how far can you picture, right? We are culturally, we're hopelessly kind of earthbound through the experience of the body itself. It's difficult. It would be difficult. It is difficult for you to picture consciousness outside of the body. That's death, right? And why not just die, right? Why not just have a die and let and have a death, a good death, and let your consciousness do what it's supposed to, and that's be free from a material encumbrance. A memory chip made of silicone is a material encumbrance. When it comes time to go through the death portal, just go through the fucking death portal. Just be grateful it's there, that you don't have to live forever here in this place, right? God forbid that you should have to live forever here. Holy fuck, I couldn't imagine a worse hell for anyone or anything than to have to continuously live here and go through all of this shit. All your friends are gone, all of your family is gone. You watch something else that you love being taken away from you, something else. How much love and care can you keep putting into something knowing it's going to be taken from you? Right? That's part of what's wrong with humans as it is, this unbridled push to just keep living forever and ever at whatever costs, at whatever expense. Forget the organic part. Oh, I just want to live forever. For what? You're not ever going to live forever. You put your consciousness in a memory stick. What happens when they stop powering the memory stick? There goes your memory. Right? Please, when it comes time, don't resuscitate me. Just let me go, please. There's a huge variety of alternate futures that they tell you is potentially available, because this is the time where things are closing out and new things are opening up. So, for example, your consciousness, your living consciousness, gets transposed onto a memory stick, and you're the electric side of it, the thinking side that doesn't need any feelings, that can be absolutely divorced from your body, the abstract part of your thinking, the unbalanced, uneven part, the ego part that's disembodied from the body itself. The ego part can keep living on, and you're living as this great, thing without a body, just this disembodied consciousness that is not able to support itself, because the consciousness that needs the body to think and function is not there. You're just free to fly anywhere. Where would you go? You couldn't imagine anywhere else. I couldn't imagine a worse hell than that. Yeah, you're free to go anywhere. Free to go. Yeah, you're disembodied. You can go anywhere. Where are you going to go? If you've never imagined anything else other than Earth, where would you go? Where do you believe you're going? Where on earth would you go? How, if you don't picture anything else, if you don't imagine anything else outside of Earth, we're all alone, and the only life that's living in the body, the only life that is living, is in a body, and you don't have the body anymore. What kind of a life would you have? Right? I couldn't imagine a worse hell than a disembodied consciousness. The body's gone, but you're floating around somewhere in a memory cube. People are out of your fucking minds. And I'll say this, with the alternative possible futures available, it may not be anything more than a prison and ensnaring your consciousness energy into a commodity, into a resource to be tapped by non-human entities. More of what's already going on, the negative side, the ridiculous side, the abusive, the hurtful, harmful side of what's already going on now. Expect more of that from disembodied consciousness. You couldn't imagine, the humans can't imagine anything else, anything greater than that. What would you do with disembodied consciousness? Go visit somewhere else? You can't. You're still stuck, tethered to the material world that you don't want to get rid of. You can't get rid of. You literally, materially can't get rid of the existence of the earth being confined in the physical body. Right? If you can't picture it now, if you can't imagine outside of the physical body, you're not ever going to get it. How would it magically show up? How are you going to realize where you are if you were to get there? You'd be lost. You would genuinely, truly be lost. That's why you live in a multidimensional world now, and if you can't do it now, you can't vision it, you can't see it happening now, it ain't ever going to happen. It's not ever going to happen for you. If you can't make that jump from this now, where would you go? What do you think magically is going to happen to allow you to vision something that's out there? And humans aren't like that. Humans aren't going to go to something new and unknown and untested. That's not the humans I know. No, humans don't do that. That's not what they're about. No. They're going for the tried and true and what they already know. You see what happens when you go woke, try new shit. It's just more regurgitated shit that's not fun. That's taken the fun out of it and just left you as a prisoner. That's what kind of the woke agenda is one more thing to turn you into a prisoner. Kurzweil talks about Ray Kurzweil. He wrote a book called Spiritual Machines. Awesome author. He has a keyboard in his name. He has a typewriter that's voice-activated typewriter, these kind of things. Kurzweil is a genius. Ray Kurzweil talks about the singularity where human consciousness is fused into the memory circuits of the machinery of an AI something or other. Machine consciousness will be indistinguishable from human consciousness. We're at the point of an AI determining whether or not you are an actual human. The little grid they give you, find the palm trees in there, right? Identify the street lights in there. And if you don't know a street light, you're not a human. Or if you've never heard of a zebra before, you're not a human. Or if you don't know what a palm tree is. Or if you don't know what an automobile is. And on and on and on and on and on it goes. Utterly taking from you your dignity of being a human. The absolute insult of having to prove to a machine that you're human? Who's responsible for that? They have lost their minds of having a human determine for you if you are human enough to get into your own bank account. If that doesn't tell you something's wrong with this, nothing will, because you're hopeless at that point. Sorry if that's insulting to you, but the truth may be insulting to people when the duplicitousness and euphemisms have to run the course of the show. People saying these bizarre words and bizarre phrases because they can't say what's actually true, so they got to make up shit. If this isn't the end of the world scenario, there isn't any. You couldn't imagine it keep going the direction it's going and things improving for people. Where would it improve to? We're at the point of the machines determining to you, for you, whether or not you're human. This is why people are going crazy. As well as the returning psychic ability for not only humans, but for the other species as well. That's why the other species are acting weird around humans, is because humans are supposed to be part of the show now and not these individual, unique problem causers that they have been, right? Returning psychic ability so that you can be able to come in contact with the things outside of the physical realm are par for the course. These are things that are supposed to be happening, of intuitive and psychic abilities being reinstated to people. However, you don't know how to deal with that. Human society calls that cheating when you access the intuitive side, the intuitive force, right? If you're just magically being able to come up with the mathematical answers, the mathematical equations, of course, the fact remains that in the real world that does happen, and there's more accidents that lead to scientific discovery than the grunt work of show your work, right? There's a number of Kekulé with the benzene ring, Descartes, like just all of them have had flashes of inspiration that they don't talk about because that would be cheating, right? The inspiration that comes with the intuitive side is cheating for humans, right? It's cheating because they need to keep this as punishing a place as possible. And if you intuitively, magically come up with the numbers, the solution to mathematical problems, and others can't follow along to check that, you can't put a price tag on it, right? It's cheating when other people can't take advantage of your work and check it for you. And by checking your work, they put their name on the validation, and then they have taken your work. Because that's how the humans are. Right? If they can't follow along with you to do what you did and then take over for you and toss you out on the street, it's cheating. And the fact of the matter is that the intuitive side of humans has been beaten out of you in a number of different ways by the academic process, by the show your work protocol, blah, 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 starts early in the kids, turning kids into the transgendered things, not letting the kids have a kid, childhood, all of this. Your race, your species is under siege. It's just important for you to know that. Your species is under siege by more of your species who are not making their own free will decisions. The people who are in charge of the place are not making free will decisions. So the ones not making their free will decisions are taking away the rights and birthrights and privileges and the fun of those of you who are actual legitimate humans, who are making a free will decision to make the world a better place. It's anathema or toxic to the smooth function of the dominator totalitarian regimes which have installed themselves into seats of power of the government and the controlling institutions of this place. So the people in charge, like I said, the people in charge are not actual real humans. They're just biological entities who are functioning to make it look like humans. Look at the president, right? He's not a functioning human being. He can't even put together one complete sentence. He shakes hands with the air. He's on stage. He has no idea what he's doing. That's not a human being. That's not someone who is thinking of what's going on around them. That's someone who is very much under control, like a puppet. There isn't any way to put it. A lot of our leaders are like this, where they look to you from the outside as if they're making a decision, but there's less there than is useful. There's very little there, and a lot of the politicians, they're not making decisions. They are just going along with what their handlers and what the moneyed interests are telling them to do. And that's largely the culture that's in charge of everything here, whether it's business, whether it's the law, whether it's the courts, whether it's banking, all of this. The humans are not of their own free will in control. They've given their free will over to the entities that are ensnaring and imprisoning the true humans, the ones who are using our free will and our free mind to think and determine for ourselves what's going on. We're being vilified, demonized, and being exterminated. Right? That's the agenda. The humans who are the puppets, who are there as, how do I say this? Who are apparatchiks, who are what's the word? Who are a vessel for the control of the overlords, right? Those are the ones that are going to be given more power, more ability to live longer here. Right? They're the ones that are going to be taken care of to live longer here. The puppets and the yes men and the ones who are just doing this for a job because they don't have anything else, the ones that are doing that just for a job, eventually, those are the ones that are going to be allowed to stay longer, stick around, right? But the humans who have of their free will, who want to live freely as a human because it's our birthright, those are the ones who are going to be gone after and who are going to be exterminated. It's in the works right now. It's in the process right now. That process is happening right now in front of us. And the only way to really battle it is to keep your free will and not let others tell you what to think and what to do. Right? Be informed. Be as informed as you can. Find your own information. Find your own way. This is the only possible hope or only possible solution for humans, is to be who you are, be a real person, be a genuine, true person, and question everything. Question the official narrative, right? This is free will. You have, and you are called to make your own decision for yourself. You're not called to be a puppet and go along with the flow and just go along with everything, right? That's not the human. It's not human, right? It's something else. If you're just going along with what someone else told you because you're afraid, then that's where you're at. That's where you're going to stay. There is no growth that will come from that. If you, of your own free will decision, gave up your free will out of fear, you're not going any further than that. You need to resolve the fear to make your own decision and make your stand and move on from that. That's why the world is, in a large part, the state it's in, and why it's not going to be getting better, because people are just afraid, they're in fear, and they're operating out of fear, and they can't imagine operating with their own true originality. All right, not cheery note, let's play some music.
All these bad, naughty thoughts in my head going round. I got a bad, bad feeling. It's so. Ooh. I got a bad, bad feeling. It's so. Bad, bad feeling. The things I wanna do to you. Bad feeling. The things I wanna do to you.
Okay, let's bring it back. Where am I? That's a good point to pause right there. That seemed to lend itself perfectly to a pause. All right. And I think that's actually so. Closer. All right. So I got like 10 minutes, or up to 10 minutes left. This should take less than 10 minutes. And then I'll play some music and we can be out of here. All right. So, but this was something that needed to be talked about. You know, when I say the humans are puppets, what's pulling the strings behind them, right? And it's not humans with more money, right? Like, I think that's an important thing to understand. Like, just the money itself, just the power itself is not anything, right? The money has no power to it except what you do with it. Right? Like it's a resource. It's not like water that's always running. Money that you put in a bank, like there's interest on it and it's getting money, but where's it coming from? Where's the interest coming from? It's coming from other people. It's not, like it's not of itself. Money of itself doesn't move. It's not it isn't it's not what's the word? Procreating. That's it. Money itself doesn't procreate. Money itself isn't making more money, right? You have to invest it into a stock market where people lose money, right? You're only gaining money because someone has lost money. You can say this is fine if you want. You can be happy with that. You can think you're on top of the world because you've gained money from other people's losses. Whatever, I don't care. This is part of the discussion of it, that the physics of it, money does not. You're fine with the fact that you won money because someone else lost it. That's fine, but you also need to recognize someone has lost money, and that money could be you. Maybe you're too smart. Maybe you're not ever losing money. However, you have to recognize that you haven't gained money without someone losing some of theirs. Money does not magically procreate by itself. It has to be tended. There has to be a field where people are playing and be okay with losing their money in the short term. In order for more money, in order for you to be rich, you had to have taken someone else's money. Money itself loses its value. If it's not translated into a currency, it loses value. Right? The earth comes and takes what is its. So gold tarnishes, silver tarnishes, all these things go back to the original state that they were in of being a metal. It's not gold anymore. It's just a metal that's getting corroded, say, for example. Right? So the money itself has no power outside of what you apply it to. Right? So power itself doesn't have power. If you don't have anyone to rule over, you don't have any power, right? So power needs people. Power is powered by people. Money is powered by people, right? Losers, basically, losers power your profit. Losers power your power, your dictatorship, your fascist regime, your whatever of being in control and directing people. They need to be okay with being directed. They need to not be upset about you taking their rights and their ability to earn a living away. And that's part of what we're talking about, of the humans. What human is in control? Certainly not the president, certainly not a leader of business. There isn't a human that's in control. There's a human who has taken more of your control, but they're not running the show, because power of itself doesn't have power. Money of itself doesn't have money. People, power, money. People, power, power. So without people giving of their okay, who really is pulling the strings? Right? What entity that's not humans, that is of itself a power, is pulling the strings? And I have talked about, I'm not saying it too much here, but I have talked about Aronmix, right? And this is something I'm not going to go too far into here, but I think it's something that should be understood and noted, of who or what is pulling the strings. And it's entirely possible, like I said, again, it's not the humans in control. The humans are just benefiting from having gotten control. Some of the humans are benefiting from, are in paradise for having taken away other people's stuff, right? Like, this is what's happening. Right? Humans aren't running the show. However, like, let's look at this. All right, so that's what I'm saying. This is my opinion, my view on this. But let's look at this, though. Right? Is there a thing or a what or a who that's driving the people and pulling the strings and controlling institutions? Is it just the money itself, or is it the money and resources of hoarding it so you don't have it? Right? Like, that's one of the things that is very much on the plate, that's on the agenda of the people who have all of the resources, is to take it from you so you don't have it and you can't use it freely, right? Of being destructive to the other humans, and in some cases sentencing you to death, to a slow and painful death, by taking your resources, your water, your air, your food, your ability to hunt, everything you've ever known, your migratory way, gets taken by the people in charge, who look at you as a resource, who look at you as something to be extracted from. Right? Is this really truly a human agenda? Or is there something pushing the humans into dehumanizing more of their kind? In the human form, it's difficult to figure out what's what and who's who. Who's in charge? Who's running the place? What's running the place? Who's in charge here? You figure the best you can. You do your best research, best figuring you can, and you do the best to get all the information. Okay, come up with your research, do all the best you can to find the information, to look, to see who's in charge, to do all of this. Then you realize, after all of that, that there are so many layers upon layers of misinformation lies, cover stories, subterfuge, with all the fuckery of hiding the truth from the humans to keep you infantilized like an infant, of necessity missing the greater natural evolution that should be there, right? And it's part of what's happening with the New Age agenda is they're taking away your birthright of what makes this so wonderful and special here among the humans, of having a unique and wonderful experience here as a living human, rather than just as a cog in the machine to be extracted as a resource, right? And that's certainly the agenda that's being played out in the halls of power now. Now you see it all around you. If you open up your eyes, you can see it. There is a force that's working to either subjugate or eradicate human genetics in its pure or the unadulterated form. The form that has not been given to, okay, I'm afraid, here, stick me with anything and you can use me as a pincushion to see what happens, right? That's part of the thing that happens with humans is we give up our free will, our rights to live as humans in exchange for the safety and the comfort that comes with an unknown medical procedure that gets inflicted upon you. So, on the cheery note, we're almost at an hour. Let me play some music.